All right, welcome back to another episode of Small Business Saturday. We're back here in the Dickson County Radio studio, DCTV studio this morning, up here high above Main Street of downtown Dickson, up here in the Reagan's Arcade building. And, you know, Main Street these days is really booming. I don't know if you guys have been to downtown Dickson lately. I'm sure you probably have. We've got all kinds of shops, all kinds of stores, businesses up and down Main Street. And so this show, our goal really is to kind of highlight not just Main Street, but we're kind of focusing on that area first because it's right here by our studio. But there's a lot of great businesses. We want to get them up here. We want to talk to them, and we want to get the details of their business and what they've got going on. So that's what this show is all about. And today, I'm so lucky to have a great guest who's got a great business. You may have heard of it. It's called New Wave Hobbies, and I've got Mr. Kenny Long here with me this morning. Kenny, how are we doing?
Good. How are you guys
Man,
doing?
I'm doing great, doing great. Very happy to have you in the studio here with me this morning. Really want to talk to you about your business today, but kind of before we get into that, if you would just kind of talk to me a little bit about, you a little bit.
Sure.
You know, there might be some people watching that are like, man, that guy looks familiar. I think I know him. Maybe went to school with you a long time ago. So talk to me a little bit about your background, a little bit about yourself, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah. Born and raised in Dickson, the Pomona area, and so pretty much lived here my whole life, with the occasion of a couple counties, for a little bit, but then always moved back to here because Dickson just is home, and it's one of those things that be a part of downtown Dickson. I know this is off, but I'm glad to be back here and contributing to my hometown. But for me, grew up Dickson, played sports here, went to high school here, graduated here, raised kids here, and so coached softball for 8 years, travel and middle school. I coached middle school in Fairview and East Hickman, but most of my girls were from Dickson and surrounding counties.
Oh, wow.
But we were based out of Dickson, Tennessee, for 8 years. Quit that to kind of, once it ran its course. My daughter played some, but I didn't have a kid on the team, and we did it for just because I loved it. That before that, I worked as a counselor out at the ranch. Did some, which if you don't know the ranch, definitely look it up. It's a huge. It's a phenomenal place.
Yeah,
run by a buddy of mine now, Zach Reagan. I don't know if you know Zach, but he's local Dickson.
Yeah,
he's young. He's probably younger than you too, but it was a great experience. Like, all these experiences led to me to where I'm at today. It's amazing. And I'm not too much to me. I'm just, what you see is what you get. And did that before I coached, and then I'd tell you this is that I loved it. It was a call. When you're younger, you don't know what you're going to do. All of a sudden, I found helping people was my calling.
Yeah.
And I always knew that, but didn't know how to do it or what it was. And so all these little moments led me to I worked with adolescents, troubled adolescents, and then adults. And then I coached. And now the next phase of what I feel like that I'm being called to do is the store, but it's much more than that. Like, well, to me, it really
I have to commend you on being a coach, because coaching is really a selfless thing. I've done it. A lot of my buddies have done it. It really is a selfless thing. Most of the time you don't get paid. Even people don't realize this, but even at the school level, you get paid, but it's a labor of love. Mm-hmm. You're getting compensated for your time somewhat, but you do it because you love to do it, and you do it because you love the kids. And without good coaches, where would we be? Because kids, wouldn't have anything to do. So just appreciate you doing that. Appreciate you, kind of taking up that cause.
Yeah. Well, and I don't. Coaching was great. I played sports my whole life, and that was the thing. Adult softball, we were very competitive. Traveled around, done a lot of big tournaments, but then to work with adolescents and help mold them into strong, independent. Not just, I coach softball, so not just women, or young women and women, but just people, be able to be mentally tough, headstrong, but also be willing to accept help and take help, or correction or whatever that looks like. But sports is one thing, but now in my the business I'm in, I'm helping a whole different genre of
Yeah.
kids, you know, and that to me is like, okay, I got these, and I don't want to say like sports usually gets the big ticket, right? Like everybody helps sports teams, but it's like the drama club or the team, you know, these other
True.
clubs that don't, you know, whatever it is, or the video game people, like those kids that don't have, it's just different, right? And
Yeah.
so being able to have a spot for them to come to, for them to come in, trade Pokemon. I mean, we have some high school kids that you would probably know
Yeah.
that you would probably never think. I mean, and they're in there trading Pokemon cards and talking Pokemon, and I'm like, I mean, they are athletes too, some of them, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm like, it's cool to get them all together, and it really is. And so it's a different genre that I'm not targeting, but you know, that I want to help.
Yeah.
You know.
So let's talk a little bit about the business then. So first off, it's called New Wave Hobbies, and it's located right here on Main Street, just south of the railroad tracks,
Sure.
I believe. And you guys have been there for a little while. I know you were in another location before that, but I feel like since you've been here in downtown Dixon, things have really been going well. Maybe start off by telling me just a little bit about what the actual business is. It's called New Wave Hobbies. That could mean a lot of things.
Sure.
And I know that there's different aspects of your business, but maybe just talk first about what do you sell and kind of the vibe of the store.
Sure. So it's one, we don't sell RC. You know, now everybody thinks hobbies is RC, but this is an old school hobby store, and the fact that we sell sports cards, we sell vintage video games, we sell some new stuff too, but our target is 80s, 90s, 2000 themed stuff, and so it's Pokemon cards, it's sports cards, it's Funko Pops, video games. That's the stuff that we sell. But we also have a lot of different things going on, events that we're trying to, to have a place for people to come and just enjoy the day, you know, both adults and kids, you know.
It seems to me like it's kind of evolved. I've interviewed
Sure.
you before a while back at the other radio station, and you were at the other location then, and I feel like you kind of had something going, but it's kind of expanded.
Sure.
And since you've been here in downtown Dixon, it seems like it's almost become an events center in a way, where people are coming in and doing events, and you're having, I think maybe you had a birthday party there where some people were dressing. I've seen some cool things from following your Facebook feed of just, congregating. I think you guys showed a movie one day.
We did.
Me and my sons wanted to come watch that day, but we got too caught up politicking and stuff out here.
Yeah.
But it's kind of morphed into something new almost.
Yeah, so being from here, I understood that, you know, this hasn't happened overnight. Like, it's taken small steps. I was at one place, very small, almost as small as or as big as this room here, and then it moved into. I used to do stuff online, moved it to a storefront, and then moved it to another storefront, and then finally settled down. And the downtown's where I wanted to be, just because of it isn't the dead downtown. It's growing, and I want to be a part of that. And so the event center or the planning stuff is really, if you can dream it, we can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got everything we have in the back room is movable, so we can cater it to whatever, whether it's a birthday party, whether it's you guys want to come in and play video games, you know, throughout the week or weekend, or for a birthday party or just a party. Just, hey, you know, we want to do it together. But we had there was May 4th. It was the event we had down here. We started at 9:00 showing Star Wars movies all day. You know,
That's what it was.
Yeah. So
it was Old Timers Day, if I'm not mistaken.
yes, that's what it was.
Old Timers Day, so everybody was down here, and we were walking up and down, and I noticed some people going in, and I talked to them, and they said, "Hey, Kenny's playing Star Wars all day." I love Star Wars. You know, the boys, they like Star Wars, and so we stopped by for a minute. We wanted to come back and watch the actual videos, but we got a little caught up. But it looked like the people that were there had a lot of fun, and they really enjoyed the day.
Yeah, it was cool because throughout the whole day, like, it wasn't like there was 20 people there at one time, but there was 20, 30 people there throughout the day. There was 2 or 3 kids, father, son, watching a little bit, and then they would go, and it was bad weather too, so it helped in a way that they could come in and sit and watch a movie and not be too bored, and it was a cool thing. So we did that. We try to do other things that the community, like I said, growing here, there's not a whole lot to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like, once, even for adults, for kids is, there's no the Thunder Alley is a great place.
Yeah.
That's a good place to go. But if that's not your thing, or you can only go there so many times, and so having more places for the kids and adults to go is hard to come by now.
Well, and it's great to me that, as you look around downtown Dixon, just about anything that you want, you can find locally. I mean, we've got the music store, we've got the hobby store, we've got, several eating places. You got a jewelry store. You got, just so many different things now that you can kind of just come down to downtown Dixon, spend an afternoon, hit a few shops, stop by New Wave Hobbies, check out the new stuff that's in stock, and maybe pick something up. And that kind of leads me to my next question. What are the big items that you sell? Like and I hate to put you on the spot, but what is like your biggest selling item, or maybe what really attracts people to the shop? I know you got the Funko Pops, you've got baseball cards, you got all kinds of different things. What would you say is like maybe the biggest seller?
It's no question. It's Pokemon cards.
Really? Wow.
So I'll tell the story, and I don't know how much time we have.
Plenty.
Yeah, right. So infinite, right? But so back in our day, it was baseball cards, right? Like so, you and again, you father son kind of thing from the 80s and 90s, because they're from the 60s, 70s, whatever. So their father son stuff was baseball cards. Yeah. So, and it was pretty much a father-son thing, with the exception of, obviously daughters and things like that. Yeah. Well, in the 90s, Pokemon comes out, huge craze. Yeah. Definitely after my time as far as a kid, but I was aware of it, but it wasn't my thing. So you fast forward 20 years, and now you have the father. Back then, and Pokemon wasn't all-inclusive. Like, it was girls, boys.
Yeah.
Now it's father, mother, daughter, son. Wow. It doesn't matter. So what happened is, like, the father used to collect cards, and so now all of a sudden the daughter or son bought a few, and they bring it home to dad. Look what I got, and they're like, what is that? And so it recharges their battery. So it's a great marketing, thing for Pokemon. But that's so now father and daughter are doing it, mother, son. It's across gender. Anybody can do it, and so now they're both collecting. Right, and then cool. We're almost into the third generation of some of those. If you think,
it gives them something to do together. It's me and my dad, we collected baseball cards. He actually in the '60s collected them, and they stuck around. Somehow I found them at my grandma's house. I was actually telling this story a few days ago. Found in the '80s, I found a bunch of 1960s baseball cards that had been sitting in the garage, and then from there we kind of developed a thing. And me and Dad would go around to card shops and different things like that, and always had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah,
and it's good to see the new generation finding something like that they can do.
Yeah, it's really cool because, like I said, you watch a father and son or father and daughter. Like, and again, it's definitely not just a boy or girl. A boy or man thing. It's cross.
It's crossed over into genders.
It's so cool, man. And to be honest with you, the kids know more than the parent. That's another thing too, because they got all the TikTok, the YouTubes, and they're watching it, and learning this stuff. But Pokemon is definitely the best seller. It's also we have an event once a month. We do it the second Wednesday of every month. It's a Pokemon trade night where we just have people come in, and cool. Again, it's kids, adults, and here's the thing: we know the adults know that the kids are going to be there, so it's not, everybody play nice kind of thing. It's a great environment. We have some adults that are very, very good. They'll bring stuff to trade for the kids, then they'll bring their stuff that they trade amongst each other. And there's also some kids that have some pretty good collections that know, like, they're going to hustle the adults. You know what I mean? Like, so you have to, like, I'm telling adults to watch out for them. And it's a really cool thing. And just to see it. And we have, between 40 to 60 people.
Wow.
And, people ask, why don't we do it more? One, it's incentive to the kids to make sure they have good grades, do chores, behave, blah blah blah. Also, we don't want to burn everybody out, right? Like it's if we had to split it, then it's not as a big event, and 10 people coming versus 40 to 60 is a big difference.
Well, it sounds like you're doing it right. It sounds like those things are coming together. Mm-hmm. I know that the poker is a big thing with you, and I was asked specifically by two of my buddies who are big poker players. They go down to Tunica a lot and stuff like that. But they said, make sure you ask him about that.
Sure.
So, talk to me a little bit about that. So you're a hobby store. You kind of expand a little bit to start doing events, and then next thing I know, I see you've got a poker tournament, and you're heading down to Tunica.
Yeah.
So fill me in on that a little bit. How'd that get started?
So again, it's sort of like the thing. Like poker has been with me, man, since I was probably 14, 15 years old, playing with my older brothers, and they're adults, and probably shouldn't say that, but I mean it's time's up. So, but no, seriously, like playing poker with them, and it's always been my thing. And I've played in tournaments in Tunica and done these things. It's been a big passion of mine. Well, obviously, it's illegal to do cash, play tournaments for cash in Tennessee,
right? Which
is fine. I mean, that's not. But we do a free poker league. I want to make sure that it's a free poker league. Doesn't cost you anything,
right.
And anybody can play as long as you're 18 or older. You can play. If you have to be 21. So we do a 10-week league, and at the end of the 10 weeks, we send however many people. We got sponsors. We've got some sponsors, and which I'll talk about in a minute. I definitely want to make sure they get heard
for sure.
At the end of the week, at the end of the 10 weeks, 7 people are going to go to Tunica, and they're going to get to play for real money. So the tournament, we just went to Cherokee a couple months ago, like 2 months ago, and first place was $110,000.
Ooh,
I mean,
big time.
So I mean, it is very, very. You can make some money.
Yeah.
The great thing is if you were to one of those 7 to go, then as long as the other, because right now we're averaging about 45 people. I mean, that's for a free poker league. That's pretty amazing. And so at the end of the 10 weeks, if you play 7 or more games, and somebody goes down there and wins money, you can get 25% split between however many people play 7 or more games.
Oh, wow.
So you don't have to have any. You don't have to go to win some money possibly.
Wow. Hey, that's cool.
I mean, it's trying to keep everybody involved and coming back. So like a 7 out of 10 games, that's not that bad. It gives you a couple weeks that you need if you can't make it. It's on a Monday at 6:00, but it wouldn't be possible without our sponsors. Like that's the thing is. So if it was just a free league, most people would be like, all right, I'll play, I'll come, not that big deal. But making it competitive, but also having something to play for, and
it gives a little juice, makes it a little more fun.
It does.
Let's be honest.
That's what I mean. It's free, right?
Yeah.
So I've played in many free poker games leagues, and that at the end of the day, it's just you're done and you just move on. Well, like it matters how you finish. You want to do well to finish up top, and you don't have to win the tournaments, but if you win points, right? Like everything's. But we have sponsors, and there was another thing that I started it on my own. I was the sponsor. I sponsored 2 people. We went to Tunica. They had a great time. They didn't place, but they did do well. So the next season, I was like, I want to get more people involved. I want to get not only to help the game, but also help some of these small businesses. So I reached out to I put it out there in Duke's 119, Morgan Kincaid.
Yeah.
And she had. I don't know if you. I mean, you know Morgan, but she's an amazing.
I've had the pleasure of interviewing her a few times. She's a great, business mind. Great at putting together a restaurant. One of the best around here.
Well, and she loves small businesses, and she really does. And I'm not just saying that. Like she is an amazing person, and I've really gotten close with her since I moved downtown. And like-minded people. But so she reached out to me, and I talked to her about, told her what it was about, and she was all in. She was like, okay. Well, what happens is, so it is a free poker league. You start with this amount of chips, but if you go eat at Duke's and spend $25, you get an extra 5,000 chips. So it's an incentive for people to hit these small businesses. Same thing with us. If you spend money with us throughout the week, you can get up to, and in the end, it's capped. It's not unlimited, so somebody can't just come in here with a bunch of money and win, So it's capped for a reason, so that it's not unfair to a certain point. But we also gotta, if you want to have the prizes, then we gotta support the small.
We gotta support them, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we have, like I said, Duke's and 119 is a sponsor. We have Camden Cards, which is another card place similar to what mine does. but they're out of Camden, and so but we do. They've since started the same league out there, and so we have we work well together. And Dakota, another friend of mine, is the owner out there, and I'm telling you, it's what they're doing out there is amazing. They actually have more people than we do.
Really?
They're averaging about 50 people. So
cool.
well, I'm just kidding. I'm happy. Again, it's fun, to see it supported and done the same. We have Thunder Alley is a new sponsor this year, and I know or this season, and of course Thunder Alley didn't need us, right? Like they have their own, but it does help a little bit. But it also shows that they're willing to help the community as well.
Yeah, and it's cool to see small businesses working together, not working against each other. I think that's amazing in itself.
It is, and because they do birthdays, they do, and it's a bigger birthday. That's their thing, right? But not everybody wants to do that. Yeah,
some people could see it as you guys have competing businesses, but the fact that that's kind of overlooked, I think, is great. It's the best thing for the community. Now you got different options and helping spread the word about each other.
It is. Thunder Alley, we have Hogwash Detailing, which is just on Main Street by the police department. They're a new business, and they are specializing more in motorcycle detailing, but they'll do cars and they do everything. And so they stepped up and was a sponsor. We have Rental Fix, which is a company out of Nashville, but it's a local guy, Jacob Myatt. I don't know if you know Jacob.
Yeah.
So he doesn't live here, but he's from here. He graduated from here, and plays in the game. So he definitely wants to give back. And I mean, I don't know how much he's getting out of it, other than rentalfix.com. Is like getting some hits there, hopefully. And but he definitely is helping the league. We have Boardable 615, which that's a new place too. And Elizabeth over there is, first off, if you've never been there, man. It's such
great food too.
It's great food, and just the ambiance and the atmosphere is it's amazing. It's fun, and I know a lot of my guys don't. They're like, "What is that?" But so they're going over there and getting tickets now, and it's cool to see a new. Maybe not for them, I don't know, but for us, and our guys to get a little bit more cultured.
Yeah. Hey, that's one way to put it. We could use a little more, I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm trying to think. Dukes, one Boardable, me, Camden, Thunder Alley, Rental Fix. Yeah, that's the seven people. So, and again, without visiting them, then it doesn't, and so we give them $400 to put in the tournament and $200 spending money. So that's, as well as just little perks throughout the season. We give them shirts for winning. You play so many tournaments, you get a free shirt too, and it's. If you don't play and you always wanted to play, come by. Because it's everything I ever do will always be a friendly atmosphere. I want that to be, all inclusive. I don't care who you are, like what your background is, come in. And we do. You come to a poker night, I mean, and you may want to come up and just especially just to meet all these different people.
Yeah.
And we have people coming from Jackson that come every week. To support and to play in this from Jackson,
I mean, these days you can get on your phone and play poker, but it's something different about getting together with the guys, sitting down, playing people in person, having that camaraderie, the networking, just the meeting the new people. I like poker myself. Not as big on the online stuff, but I love going and playing in person and hanging out with people. And it's cool that you kind of develop that culture and that place where if if you're into poker, if that's kind of your thing, you can meet some other people that are into it, and you have a place to come. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. It is. It's so we do a lot of things for the kids. We have Smash Bros. Video game tournaments every Friday, and we have a lot of kids from 8 to 12, and then some kids from 15 to 18, and some adults too. And watching them all get along, and it's a cool experience. But I like as much or Pokemon. Like we have adults, but it's more geared for the kids, right? That's the thing. But to have this adult thing, and have that many people come and support it, and just enjoy it. I'm telling you, if you wanted to come and just laugh at people, I'm telling you, and I don't mean in a bad way. I mean with people, and it's like we are a good group, and it's fun. It's fun to watch them.
I like the way that your shop has sort of evolved into just like something for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, all the way from grandma, grandpa, all the way down to the young kids. I mean, you can go in there together, and there's, you know, if poker's your thing, or if cards are your thing, or if, you know, the Funkos, the toys are your thing. You got something for everybody, and I just think that's awesome. You know, as we get kind of towards the end here, you've mentioned a few little things about that you do, but what I'd like you to do now is just kind of tell us your hours,
Okay.
and then maybe go back over some of those days where you do the special things,
Sure,
so that
sure.
people who are listening can sort of jot down, okay, this is when he's open,
Sure.
we're going to go by, this is when they're doing the cool things. But yeah, go ahead and tell us some of those things.
So our hours we're open 7 days a week, which is, you have to be, right? But also, we're one of the few businesses outside Ginger's
Yeah.
that's open 7 days a week. But so it's Monday through Thursday, it's 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Friday, it's 9 a.m. or Friday and Saturday, it's 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. And of course, sometimes it runs longer, a little longer than 10, because if they're still playing Smash or we have events out there, we don't care. We're fine opening, but 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Friday and Saturday, and Sunday we're open from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. So a little shorter day, but still 8 hours to get in there and do what you need. And so the events, we have, like I said, the first Wednesday of every month, we have sports card trade night. It's a little slower. We're trying to pick, like, we've been doing it, and it's like different people coming, so we're not sure how long. You know, we know it'll work. We just don't know if we need to move it to a different day. So but for sure, we have second Wednesday every month is Pokemon trade night. Every people, like I said, we have it's built. The third Wednesday we have a Pokemon learn to play the game. That's another, like, if you don't know how to play the game,
That's cool.
the Pokemon trade night, you don't have to know how to play. You just collect the cards, and that's easy to find out value. And we talk to them about making sure about the fake cards. I mean, I'm sure you in school, people even having the high school may not, but fake cards and how to determine value, how to look it up on a phone or an app.
Yeah.
And so Pokemon Learn to Play is a different thing, where if you don't know how to play, they play different in school, right? They only have so much time, so they just make these rules up. And so we actually teach them how to play, and they love it. Adults are in there playing, kids are playing. Like it's and we usually have between 15 to 20, for that, and it's growing. So that is the third Wednesday of every month. Every Friday is Smash Bros. Tournament on the Nintendo Switch, and it's from 8 p.m. to it finishes usually around 9:30, depending on how many people. And we usually have between 8 to 15 on that. So not a whole lot, but it's, you never know. We could have 20, but usually we have at least 8 people. And Mondays, every Monday from 6 p.m. to whenever it's done. And usually people are like, well, how long does it last? We give you some play. Like the poker thing is like, you don't want to just go in and it be over real quick. So it usually will last to about 10 o'clock when it's done. So usually about 4 hours if you're planning on playing it. But 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. every Monday, except, like I said, for 10 weeks. And then after that 10 weeks, we send everybody the next week or two to the casino to win. And then we usually take a couple weeks off to get everything. We need to get some sponsors, get liner sponsors up and stuff like that. I mean, there's other, we have once a month D&D, which is another small group, 8 to 10 people. And we have kids in the morning, adults at night. And we do that the third Saturday every month. Every other Sunday, we've been doing One Piece. I don't know if One Piece is another card game like Magic, Pokemon. And we do that every other Sunday at 4 p.m. Every Saturday, we got a lot of events. Every Saturday at noon, we have a Flesh and Blood tournament, which is another card game like Magic, except it's just a different way to play it, right? Matter of fact, that's the way I went to Minnesota for the Nationals. A couple of the guys that play here qualified to go up there and be part of like 600 people that in the nation that got to play in the tournaments, the national tournaments. And it was amazing. It was a really cool experience too. So
awesome.
I think that's pretty much everything that we do. We have birthday parties, and like Sharon had a party out there and for her birthday, and we have just like I said, different events. if there's something going on downtown, we're probably going to have an event. I think what was the event before Old Timers Day, the not Irish picnic, but
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day.
We had something going on, yeah.
Yeah, so we did 3 tournaments, poker tournaments, like very quick ones, but to get a bunch, and everybody had a great time. That was a great day for downtown. So
yeah. Well, and these things are great. These new businesses, these events, and everything. It's just awesome that downtown is really growing, and I love your business, man. I think that it's really been a great asset to downtown. Is there, as we kind of head out here, sure. Is there any like contact information you want to leave? Sure. Place where people could go? Maybe if they're like riding in the car listening to this and they're like, I didn't get to jot down those dates. Do you guys like? I know you update on your Facebook page because I follow it, but what would be the best way somebody could go and kind of figure that out?
So we're on all social medias. The biggest thing, our biggest following right now is our Facebook group. So if you listen to it, New Wave Hobbies Virtual Store. That's our group. And we have like 2,500 people, which isn't a lot, but it is a lot, And so, but it also is something that everything runs through that. We do Twitter. We have, not Twitter. We have Instagram. We have TikTok. We have a Facebook page, but everything runs through our Facebook group because that's just where we have the most following. It started, a long time ago and during COVID, and it's grown from COVID, from COVID to, to here. And I'll tell this story or saying, but it's like one of the reasons for growth. I thought during COVID I was going to have to shut the store down, but since I had already an online presence on eBay and I was able to, only in America. Yeah. During the pandemic, would collectibles grow? Would just explode.
It's funny how it works, right?
Yeah, only in America, right? And so I was selling stuff that like crazy, everything I had in the store on eBay and making more money and so like I was able to take that and move from the small place, take a chance. I was like, listen, I'm going to take one more chance to move into a bigger location, and that was not here, but the one I was at for 3 years over in the behind Popeyes and next to the Y. Yeah. And to see, I was like, man, let's just see if it will go. So we kind of done some of the early stages of what we've done down here, and Dixon has supported it, amazingly. And I want to make sure that gets out there. That it plays people just like having this interview, but also people in general, man. They are amazing, and the can't thank them enough, right? Yeah. That's the thing, is it's rewarding. I would love to be a millionaire, right? But at the same time, as long as I can make enough and everybody's having a good time, and I'm telling you, it's my employees that I have now, which then I didn't, but they make the store, they make everybody comfortable, but also the love that they get from from the customers and the community. And I love it, because I could just sit back and be in the background while they're doing their thing, because it's their passion, and I love it. I love doing everything I'm doing, but they love comics. They love, because I didn't say that, we do sell comics too, but they love Funkos. They love watching them talk to other customers and everybody's bright and light, and it's a really cool thing just to sit back and watch, because even though it may not be my thing, it's cool to see people enjoying life and just, especially in today's world, so.
Yeah. Man, that's awesome. Yeah. I appreciate you coming up here so much. This is my small business, sure. Dixon County Radio, and you're supporting me, and in turn, I'm trying to support you, and I just love to see all the camaraderie amongst small business owners here in this area kind of coming together, and I'm excited to see what you come up with next. I love your shirt. Do you guys have some of those for sale? Because I think I got to get one.
Okay, I don't. We did. This was like a lot of our stuff is limited edition, because we run through stuff. So I don't have one of these, but I did bring you some. Yeah. So I brought you two different ones. You can have them.
Thank you.
And if one of them is
hold them bad boys up to the camera.
All right. Hang on a second.
That's pretty cool, man. Thank you.
So we do a lot of.
I don't usually get gifts very often, but hey, that's awesome.
So it's New Wave Dobbies, right? Like
I love that.
So.
I'm gonna have a hard time keeping that, because who's gonna want to take that from me is my kids.
Yeah. So I brought you two in case that happens.
Thank you. I got two boys.
Yeah. So Now these we still have a few in, have stuff in, and we're all the time changing. And of course, this is a New Wave Hobbies, but
Man, that's
Donkey Kong
awesome.
Country for Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, I love that game.
Yeah.
You already know. I mean, I'm old school, man. I played Mike Tyson Punch Out and Tecmo Super Bowl, man. I go back.
Those are the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, I brought these to you for sure.
Thank you.
And it's one of those things that community is amazing, and I do want to make sure that whoever hears this, that's what they hear. That we definitely support small business. That's what we try to do. I'm all the time, messaging them or calling them, and Morgan's probably tired of hearing from me sometimes. I'm like, Morgan, what do you think about this? And Zach, and like I said, some of these are personal friends, but also, or they have become personal friends.
Right.
And again, I understand that I'm a oddity in this world. Like, not a whole lot of competition as far as like
Right.
And there's
It's unique. I would call it a unique,
Yeah.
Unique business.
Yeah, I mean, I want to make sure that I say this too. Is Blackthorn's been here since the '90s, and they do more Magic and D&D and Warhammer and stuff like that, like these groups, and they're amazing. I mean, without them laying the footwork a long time ago, places like this, I don't think we compete because we kind of have different clientele. We do some of the same stuff, but they have different clientele, and that's great. They're helping a lot of people, helping a lot of youth.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't. There's nothing bad to say about them, but I want to make sure that they get some love too, because I mean, again, what they're doing out there is great.
Yeah. They've been out there a long time.
Yeah.
People kind of forget about them sometimes because they're not in the center of town. But
Right.
yeah, I've got a lot of good things to say about Blackthorn. I went there as a kid.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I'm sure you did too.
Yeah. So I mean, it was just Mark was always a great guy, and definitely in it for the right reasons to help kids and just have fun himself. So it's one of those things that we can share off each other. Same thing down here. I want to support all small businesses. Sometimes like, look, it's all greater good, whatever, Morgan says all the time is some is greater than the hoe or whatever. Hoe is great. Whatever the saying.
Right.
Morgan will correct me, I'm sure. But
I like to say the one where it's like the rising tide raises all the ships.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I told you this before, but Walgreens and CVS, they set up right next to each other, and there's a reason for that. So just because businesses sell the same thing or kind of do the same thing doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to hurt each other. Sometimes they can actually help each other. So.
Yeah, and I'm always encouraged help, even if it's something similar to mine, And matter of fact, there's a couple different people have talked to me about doing. I'm like, man, whatever you need, I'll help you, And because I'm comfortable in what we're doing and the service that for years that we have provided, whether back when it was just me and the customer service and the atmosphere. We're not perfect, we have bad days and we have good days, and but overall I hope everybody leaves there, and I think the majority of people do, with a good experience. But that's something that just takes time. But I'll help anybody, just about anybody coming up to me and saying, hey, this is something, well, let's see if we can help it or do it, or because what we're doing, we do so many different things, and if somebody just is wanting to narrow one thing down, I mean, it's not really, I don't want it to be, it's not going to hurt us, because we're going to just keep doing what we do and providing the atmosphere, and that's the coolest thing to me, because even though we are a retail shop, the atmosphere, the events, that's the stuff that we want to gear towards, and everything else that just funnel through.
Absolutely. Well, hey, it's a beautiful Saturday. Thank you for coming by. I know you'll probably be at the shop today.
Yep.
So, guys, if you're out and about, go by and see Kenny.
Yep.
And just stop by and just see what's going on in there. If you've never been, I think you'll be surprised at what all he's got in there. And I think that you'll find something in there that gets your attention. So, Kenny, thank you for coming by today.
No.
Thank you for doing the interview. And thank you for the shirts.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Appreciate that very much. And thank you to all the people who are watching. I really appreciate y'all tuning into this show, learning more about these small businesses. Every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Got a couple more lined up for the next few weeks. So stay tuned. We've got some more on the way. Again, thank you, Kenny. We'll go ahead and close out. I'll see you guys next week. Make sure that you support your small businesses, not just Saturday, but every